Dr. Shaban, President Obama says there will be airstrikes in Syria against IS. Do you welcome that?
Well, I think what President Obama said is quite confusing because the Security Council Resolution 2170 spoke about fighting terrorism, which means ISIL and Jabhat al-Nusra, and they spoke about the world community standing against terrorism, while the speech of President Obama dropped Jabhat al-Nusra, dropped the coordination with Russia and China, invented some opposition that he wanted to support. I think it has many problems, what President Obama has announced, and I think the West again is making mistakes in our region. They should review their strategy before really taking any action in the region if they truly want to fight terrorism.
We know, though, that there are 10 Arab states rallying to the United States. Surely that is your best chance of defeating IS.
You know, terrorism did not start with ISIL for a start. In Syria, we have been facing the same kind of terrorism for the last 4 years, the same kind of killing, slaughtering, displacing Christians and other people. And therefore, I think that what President Obama is talking about is not going to solve any problem anywhere because he is not making the right decision now. If he is going to stand by what he said today needs a lot of clarification.
Well, let's clarify something. Let's clarify something now. If President Obama mounts airstrikes near Raqqa against IS, will Syria attack American airplanes?
Syria announced, our foreign minister has announced that if there is an international coalition against terrorism, Syria will be ready to be part of it. We have been fighting terrorism for the last 30 years, but certainly nobody will be able to fight terrorism on our land without our coordination and without our role in fighting terrorism.
But if President Obama launches airstrikes backed by 10 Arab states in Syria, will there be a counterattack by Syria, or will you just see it as actually President Obama doing your job for you and combating IS?
You see, now I think there's a lot of talk that is going on. I think Russia and China are not accepting what President Obama is saying. He is not abiding by Security Council resolution. Even, the statement that he did today, speaking about hunting terrorists, easier said than done, speaking about not allowing Christians and minorities to be removed from their original land.
But Dr. Shaban, what do you want? Dr. Shaban, what does President Assad want? What are you doing to combat IS? What are you doing to take on IS?
We have been fighting terrorism, ISIL and other kinds of terrorism. There are over 1,000 branches of terrorism here for the last 4 years. They have been slaughtering our people. They have been killing our army. The West, unfortunately, only noticed when a Western person was slaughtered, and we condemn killing anybody. But our people had been killed for the last 4 years, and nobody even condemned the killing of our people and the people of our army.
If President Obama strikes near Raqqa, not all over Syria, but in the east along a line, will the Syrians welcome that help to defeat IS?
Syria would welcome to be part of the discussion and the decision, because fighting terrorism is not an easy thing. And we are the people who have been facing terrorism in the region.
And will you talk to President Obama?
Strategy should not.
Do you wish to talk to President Obama?
I said to President Obama that he should truly get the opinion and the help of all people in the region, not only the countries who have been very handy in helping terrorists,
but this
who have been financing terrorism.
Raqqa is an ungoverned space. You know that Raqqa is an ungoverned space, and the American commandos already went in to try and get James Foley. There's a British hostage in there, among other hostages. Surely we must make every effort in that area to combat IS.
You know why the West now suddenly started to talk only about ISIL, talk about terrorism? I mean, what did they do since 9/11, since 2001? What are the achievements in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and in Libya? They have to believe that they have to listen, to consult with people who have been truly victims of terrorism, not to go to Jeddah to meet with countries who have been financing, arming, and facilitating terrorism.
But the problem is that President Assad is not in control of the whole of his country. President Assad is not in control of the situation. Therefore, it is impossible for those standing by in other countries not to do anything. So other people have got to take on IS if President Assad can't do it.
Well, at least the army of Syria is fighting terrorism everywhere, and if there are areas that are taken by the terrorists, it is thanks to the people who have been financing and arming and facilitating terrorism. Therefore, the least thing President Obama could do is to stand with Syria, with the government of Syria against terrorism, and with the governments of the region who truly are against terrorism.
You know that IS represents a very particular threat. This is not like the opposition that stood up to President Assad 4 years ago. This is quite different. You know it's a different kettle of fish, and they have to be taken on separately. You know that.
You know, unfortunately, you know things that are not real. ISIL is like the terrorists, like Jabhat al-Nusra, like Ahrar Sham, like Al-Jabha al-Islami. I can count 100 organizations that have been slaughtering people, that have been killing women, that have been criminals all over the country. I am not underestimating the horrid presence of ISIL, but I'm saying to the West, you have to get real. You have to see what's happening on the ground. What President Obama is saying he is going to support and finance and arm, they are the same people like ISIL. They have the same ideology, the same extremist terrorist ideology.
Dr. Shaban, thank you.